The Vauxhall Corsa, the 2023 supermini Vauxhall Corsa, the best car in its size range. And look at it, it's lovely. They've finally given it the new facelift on this car as well. And this is the ultimate edition. Is it the ultimate Corsa with the ultimate facelift? Only time will tell. I'm Duncan Vincent. This is the Arnold Clark YouTube channel. Make sure you like and subscribe and hit that bell icon so you never miss an upload from us. Main talking point on the front of the Vauxhall Corsa is clearly the facelift that Vauxhall have given it, introducing the new visor grille and the matrix LED headlights. Now the headlights are very clever because when you have them on and you're turning a corner, they'll actually dip down so they don't blind any oncoming traffic that's heading towards you. The badge is right in the middle there, and that is the Griffin. It's the mythical creature that Vauxhall have used for such a long time. The body and arms of a lion, the head and wings of an eagle. Very mythical. Not many people know that. As we come across the other side, it then blends in nicely to the honeycomb grille down the bottom here. I love the honeycomb effect. Great for getting some air in through the front of that car. And underneath the bonnet we have an engine, a 1.2 turbocharged engine giving you 130 PS. Ultimately though, like that, nice front end, and I like the way it's broken up with the black and the white. Okay, down the side of the Corsa, lovely bi-colour alloy wheels, 17-inch front and back, and discs front and back on this car as well. As we make our way down, you'll notice that the door mirror is the same colour as the roof. Now that two-tone option doesn't come with any extra cost to you. However, if you want to put a sunroof in here, it's £500 extra for the sunroof. I do like the nice dark tint to the privacy glass, although a little bit of plastic would have been nicer if it just married up with the actual line on the window. But then you come back to the lights, and a lot of manufacturers are doing this. I love how the name of the car is actually in the lights there. But the lines all flow to the back of the car. And finally around to the back of the Ultimate Corsa here. Nice big aerodynamic roof spoiler here. And you've got a brake light very high up, which is a great thing. It's an extra safety thing, keeps you safe on the motorway if you are braking. I do like the back of the car. I think it looks lovely actually. The curves, the shape of it all, it looks perfect. The lovely little reflectors down the side here, and look at the exhaust, a lovely twin port exhaust that comes out the back there. I do like that, big fan. It has also got a boot. Unfortunately though, we don't have swipey to open this one. We have to actually push a button. And then still, we have to use our hand to open the boot. I'm not used to that. 309 litres of boot space in there with a 60-40 split in the seats. Obviously, if the seats go down more, you get this much. There we go, plenty of room for you housing stuff in there, and also the nice Corsa logo right across the back. We find ourselves inside the cockpit of the Corsa now, and first things first is, you know, I really need to be comfortable when I'm driving. I've got the seat as low as it will go, and the steering wheel comes nice and high and back towards me. The pedals are pretty good for my feet actually, nice big brake in the middle, and a footrest. You know how important it is for me to have a footrest whenever I'm driving. But they're nice and comfortable seats, they do kind of hug you quite well. And there's also an armrest here which I like, a movable armrest which does go forwards and backwards. Driving controls, nice and easy to get to down here in the driving mode button. One thing I will say though, no gear lever. We've got an 8-speed semi-automatic gearbox in this car, and behind our steering wheel, which has got a nice flat bottom, I do like a flat bottom, we've got the paddles on either side, one for up, one for down. So Corsa really have taken a big step forward with that. I do like how they've got the racy paddles either side. The dashboard, as we look through it, it tells you everything you need to know. It's not overly complicated, but it is nice and bright because it does sit in quite a dark housed area, which is always good. Not a lot of sun's going to reflect off from that. And the infotainment system, we've got a 10-inch screen for that there, and it's nice and easy to use. I've got Apple CarPlay hooked up to that just now, and I get all my key features from my phone. And there's also a Vauxhall app which will get downloaded into your phone, which makes connection nice and easy to the car. Ultimately though, it's quite cool in here. The rear view mirror's good, the door mirrors give me nice good visuals out the side of that. Unfortunately, there's no light in the vanity mirror, but that's not going to stop me putting my makeup on when I get to work first thing in the morning. The dashboard itself is really nice. There's almost like a chrome effect that goes right across the front of it here, and a nice bit of grey as well that gives you a kind of pearl flip inside that. But ultimately inside the car, it's pretty good. It's comfortable, which is the most important thing, and it's pretty spacious as well. We've made our way into the back of the Corsa for some backseat action, and First thing you're going to notice, that seat is exactly how I got out the front and left it. That's my perfect driving position. As I come back here, my legs are actually popping out either side, or I'm kneeing the back of the seat. There's not a lot of leg room there. The headroom's okay, bearing in mind I'm 6'2", give or take a few inches, so I'm happy with the headroom, but the legroom is a big no-no for me. Comfortable seats in the back, as we have in the front. We've still got the Alcantara finish in the middle of the seats here, and electric windows with a deep privacy glass makes it nice and comfortable in the back. You've got some extra storage down the front of the seat there, and there's 2 extra USB-C charging points in the back if you need to charge any phones or iPads or games consoles there. And remember, ISOFIX either side in the back, but ISOFIX is also in the front of this car in the passenger seat. So that's quite a unique thing for the Vauxhall Corsa. But I've got to say, the legroom, not great for me, but the actual comfort of the seat, pretty good. 1, 2, 3, 4. First impressions of the Corsa, driving along a little bit of a dual carriageway, it takes me back in time. It makes me feel like I'm in my 20s again, when my mum and dad actually had the first generation of Corsa. It feels dead easy, it doesn't feel too big, everything is just kind of good. Of Corsa, it should be, see what I did there, because it's a good little car. It's been put together well by Vauxhall. They've had a big thought about how to do things differently. The pillar on the front isn't too big, it does give you good visibility. I'd like the door mirrors to be slightly bigger if possible, so I can see just a little bit more out the side, but then if you have too big a door mirror on a small car, it'll look like Mickey Mouse, and it might look a bit silly. Blind spot detection works really well, comfy thing to drive. The steering wheel, I mentioned it earlier on, it has got the flat bottom, but it's also just a nice girth for you to hold on to. My hands fit it well, they don't touch the buttons in the middle of it. First impressions, big thumbs up for the little Ultimate Corsa, ultimately mega. As we cruise along at standard motorway speed, we ask you about the safety features in your car, because this car has got lane assist, it's got cruise control, it's got stop start, everything that you need is there. Some lane assists though can be very abrupt and they can really grab you and move you about quite viciously. That is a good thing though, it does keep you safe. But if you want to try and get them and switch them off, they can be hidden away deep inside an instrument panel that can be difficult to navigate as you're driving. Not in the Corsa. Simply push and hold the button down there. Simple as that, lane assist, then off. Personally though, I think I'll have it on. But I want to know what you guys think of the modern safety features. Comment in the box, do you like lane assist? Do you want to have it on? Or do you want to have it off? Naughty. 1.2 turbocharged engine, 130 PS, cruising along 25 miles per hour. We can go up to 70 on this road. Let's see how quickly it gets there. 3, 2, 1, go. Second gear. Nice to hear an engine. Third gear. Fourth gear. Too quickly on the paddles, Duncan. It goes very, very well. That's at 70 miles per hour. It goes really well. The little 1.2 engine, little turbocharged thing. You can't hear it. It's quite quiet until it gets up in the rev range, and then you start to realise there is an engine in the front there. We've driven so many EVs. It's nice to be back inside an actual petrol engine car. And I really like the way the gearbox works as well, how you can flip it between manually operating the paddles as I'm doing just now, or you can actually have, as we go through a roundabout at great speed, God, it's good to be in a little car, or you can put it in full automatic mode and it does it for you. Woohoo! Having driven for quite a bit along these country roads, quite spiritedly, the suspension feels great, okay? The input from the steering wheel to what the car does feels great. You feel a lot of it through your bum like you do in every car, but the little Corsa, very planted to the road. I like the brakes. Now, I have seen a few reviews where the brakes get a bit of a hard time, and I don't agree. In fact, it's completely wrong. The brakes are lovely, the brakes are firm, and they get progressively better the harder you push that pedal, which is how brakes should work. So yeah, good stuff. Is that enough to make the love list? Probably not. It'll go in the like list just now, because cars generally should have good brakes. It comes in 3 forms. You can have it in the design, it goes through the GS, and then up to what we have, which is the ultimate one. You get a lot of little car for your money. Remember, this is the best-selling supermini in 2023. It's taken over the mantle from the famous Ford Fiesta. It's a Corsa that everybody wants. All the young team want a Corsa nowadays, but not just the young team, you know? I could see myself in one of these as well. Also, being able to flick between the modes with great ease is just down here. eco, normal and sport. I've been doing most of my driving in sport, but I need to start thinking about my pocket, and I'm putting the fuel in this car today, so I'm going to go back in towards eco and just feel if there is a performance change in the car, because you've got to think about how you actually fuel yourself these days and how much money goes in your tank. Now, I said the suspension was lovely when we're on the country road. It really does hug the road very well, as long as it's a smooth country road, because as we come into a bit of a town here, the roads are a little bit bumpy, and the suspension, it almost feels a little bit sporty for the unfortunate potholes that this village does have, and there's plenty of potholes around the UK just now, so it's all about being clever, positioning yourself in the road so you can try and miss the craters that each road has. But yeah, suspension on the open road feels good. When you get to a bumpy section, yeah, you wouldn't want to be driving this down a cobbled street, that's for sure. It's launch time, but not just any ordinary launch, an uphill launch, to see what the little Corsa really does pack. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, hang on. 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah, it's okay. 0 to 60 in roughly 8.5 seconds. We didn't get to 60 there because we came to the crest hill, and it's probably better being on the side of safety over the crest of that hill. But yeah, it goes well. Little 1.2 engine, 130 PS. It's perfect for what the car is. You don't want any smaller, you probably don't want it any bigger, the engine. Okay, turn and circle challenge. Let's see what she's got. Will she get round here? I'll tell you what, that's impressive. That's really impressive. We could probably go around the circle, but it's probably safer that we don't. Impressive stuff for the little Corsa. Do you think she could out-turn a Renault Austral? There's a question for you, because the Austral had one of the best turning circles you've ever seen. You can check out that video in the top right corner just now. The dashboard on the Corsa is pretty cool. You can have a different setting for whatever you fancy. Right now I've got it on navigation. If you want, there's a little toggle switch on the left-hand stalk here. On the very end, just turn that and you can change it to dials, for instance. Rev counter, fuel, speed in the middle. After that, there's a computer one which you can push as well, and it tells you everything you need to know about how many miles you've got left and what your average fuel consumption has been. There's also a couple of personal settings, so you can actually put your own personal settings in there for whatever you think you need. Personally myself, I quite like the minimum one. Minimalistic, that's where I am just now. Now, Vauxhall has got a very good infotainment system. You don't need to have your Apple CarPlay iPhone or your Android Auto phone connected, but it's a personal choice for me as a driver to always have Apple CarPlay on, and it really is good. Very quick system on this, doesn't lag at all, and if you need to get into the heart and soul of the Vauxhall side of things, push home and you're straight back to that area in the infotainment system. But yeah, I do like Apple CarPlay, and my phone's on the wireless charging mat, which is just below it, so it always keeps it topped up and fresh, ready for action. We've done motorway driving, we've done town driving, and country driving is clearly my favourite, especially when you get on a little road that's just been freshly resurfaced by the council and it's dry. This car comes alive there. The little Corsa. This is where this car really was designed to go. It's what it was meant to do. Driving along a country road within the speed limits that you're meant to do, but it really does come alive. You've got great feel from the suspension. Tiny movements on the steering wheel have a big effect on where the car goes, such as the kind of sporty nature and the DNA that runs through the Corsa family. Remember, this car took over from the all-conquering Nova, and how good was the Vauxhall Nova? Can you remember a Vauxhall Nova? If you can't, you need to look up Wikipedia or Google and check out a Nova. But we're going to go along to the end of this road, and then we're going to go round a roundabout just a couple of times to see what it's like when we lean on the actual car. But lovely, lovely little car to drive along a smooth country road. And as I've said earlier on, the brakes in the car feel lovely as you get towards the end. Nice firm pedal underneath you. And then we come to a roundabout. And what do we like to do at a roundabout here at Arnold Clark? We like to just go round the roundabout just a few times to make sure it's nice. So it's a super tight one. As you come round there, the car feels lovely. Yeah, it leans over just a little bit, but not too much. But that is a super, super tight roundabout. Let's give a little honk of the horn as we leave and a little wave. But she enjoyed that. She gave us a thumbs up. The little Vauxhall Corsa, you may notice that it looks very similar to the Peugeot 208 if you see it on the road, and that's because most of the common parts are transferred over because it's part of the Stellantis group, the group that looks after Peugeot and Citroen, and also Vauxhall. So very, very similar to the Peugeot 208, but it does have its own unique little Vauxhall features. Can you hear that? That's very French, isn't it? They picked it up from the Stellantis group, definitely. I'm going to have to turn it off. The indicator noise, back on. It's going to be a long hold at the red light, this. Back in the city centre of Glasgow with a little Corsa Ultimate, and it looks fabulous. It drives great, and it loves the city centre, it loves the country, and it also loves the motorway. But that's my thoughts. You need to get yourself behind the seat of one, and then you can let me know in the comments below if you agree with me or not. Because I've been Duncan Vincent. This has been the Arnold Clark YouTube channel. Make sure you like and subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you never miss an upload from us, guys. Until next time, safer driving.